Number 143, the wisdom of the crowd. Number 144, the worst case fallacy.
Oh my goodness. The worst case fallacy, also just in case we can't afford to take chances, an abundance of caution. Better safe than sorry, better to prevent than to lament. A pessimistic fallacy by which one's reasoning is based on an improbable, far-fetched, or even completely imaginary worst case scenario rather than on reality. This plays on pathos, fear, rather than reason, and is often politically motivated. Example, what if armed terrorists were to attack your county grain elevator tomorrow morning at dawn? Are you ready to fight back? Better stock up on assault rifles and ammunition today, just in case. See also scare tactics. The opposite of this is the positive thinking fallacy. Yeah, this is interesting. This honestly, like this, I think this stops so many people from doing so many good things. Like just on a, I feel like if there was a fallacy that we've talked about today that I think runs rampant within people's minds, I feel like this is one of them. Just like I think the reason why most people don't go after their dreams, they don't take risks, they don't decide, I'm going to chase this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to become what I said I wanted to become. I think they oftentimes stare at the worst possible scenario and they're so afraid that that one thing is going to happen that they never take action. And I have to be honest, like that is one thing that for whatever reason in my own life, that is not what I did. In most cases, the worst case scenario, of course, was present in my mind. But I often found that whenever I arrived at the moment that I thought was going to happen, I would prepare my best for the worst case scenario. And 100% of the time, that scenario never occurred. So, um, and at some point, I just stopped. At some point, after maybe the 100th, 150th, or 200th worst case scenario I designed in my mind that didn't happen, at some point I was like, I'm going to stop generating these. This is a waste of energy and a waste of time. But I find that so many people really they stare at the this fictitious worst case scenario and it stops them from chasing whatever it is they want to do. Um, so yeah, I did this a lot in the past as an individual for and within myself, and then at some point stopped listening to that voice because it was just so exhausting to listen to. That's yeah, that's me.
Rain?
Yeah, in the past I don't do it as much now, but in the past I definitely have been like guilty of that, like saying like, "Oh, well this is worst case scenario." And then like the worst case scenario doesn't even happen and then I'm like, "Why am I planting this seed in my head?" You know? Yeah, but in the past I used to do that a lot more, but now I've kind of like I kind of like I only do it if I like feel like there's a need for it, but there really isn't a need for it. So like maybe I should just stop doing it altogether. But yeah.
Interesting.
There's a very famous variant of this fallacy that was presented to me as a second grader by another child. So a child also, maybe they heard it from somebody else or they independently came to this conclusion. But when I was in second grade, that was the first time that I was realizing that there are some people that don't believe in God. And I was raised in a family that was very religious, and they never spoke of a human not believing in God. That was not a possibility. And so I always felt really guilty as a child for not believing because I thought there was something wrong with me because it was never even I didn't even know that was allowed that other people didn't believe. Um, and in second grade, I asked another child if like if they don't believe in God. Uh, and because I didn't, and I was looking for other people that didn't believe because I'm like, am I the only one? Um, and what a kid said to me was, well, uh, I believe just because of, and then you could Google this. They didn't say Pascal's wager, but they made this argument. Um, that if you don't believe, you're gonna go to hell. So, even if it is true, even if it's not true, then, it's gonna be okay because, you're not gonna go to hell if it's not true. But if it is true and you don't believe, then you would go to hell. So you might as well just believe just in case. And
Yeah.
that is Pascal's wager. A child came up with that to me, and I'm like, I didn't have the words to explain why that was not reasonable. Um, but now I do. That is known as Pascal's wager. Um, and that particular version of that fallacy instantly falls apart as soon as you take into consideration any other religion that says that you go to hell if you believe the Christianity religion. Then it's Pascal's wager with everything. And you can't possibly believe all the different religions that conflict with each other. So yeah, it falls apart.
Hmm. I think I lied there about the that I haven't done this one recently. I think with my big life decisions I haven't, but this did come up the other day, actually, now that I think about it. Ann and I were thinking about taking a trip to an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere in Texas with like, bunch of stars and all the things, 7 hours away from where we live, just like a real, yeah, real going in the middle of nowhere and just being able to enjoy the quiet and nature and all that. And I remember I had this feeling in my system that was like, all of a sudden I was like, shit, like I might need to buy a gun. And she was like, why? I was like, if anything happened while we were out there, like if someone decided that they wanted to come in and steal all of our shit, murder us, whatever it was, the nearest cop is going to be 45 minutes away. I was like, we wouldn't be able to save ourselves if we wanted to. So I think I'm seriously thinking about considering buying a gun if we go on this trip. And I've never had that thought before, but it was like, oh shit, like the worst case scenario was popping in my mind of like, oh, we go on this romantic Airbnb trip, and then my brain's like, but what if someone comes and wants to murder you? It's like, wow. So I lied. That does still pop in at times inside of my own mind.
I've also done this during COVID. I suggested to my family that we all get hazmat suits just in case anything like this ever happens again. Um, we didn't do that, but yeah, that was better be safe than sorry kind of a thing. But um, yeah, that ended up dissipating because a virus can't spread if it kills you. You have to keep you alive long enough to pass it. So because of natural selection, the virus just became less deadly over time.
Wow. There are a bunch of hazmat suits that you can buy.
Yep. Yeah, I was looking into it. I was looking into ones that like let's say the air became unbreathable and it filtered all the air for you. Um
You
yeah, I was
could
looking into that.
buy a hazmat suit for $2,000. Wow.
Yep, that is the worst case fallacy.